Happy Saturday. Here comes your weather update for this winter storm. And well, it is looking very, very interesting still. I know a lot of people have been anticipating this for a long time. Hopefully you're prepared. First, I would like to say one thing. If you are here watching this video right now, I love you. I applaud you. Then the main reason is for one thing only. There's been a lot of really bad information out there going back to the very beginning of this event. A lot of people have been hearing a lot of things back and forth. Are we going to get a foot of snow? They've even been hearing about 2 feet of snow. There's been a lot of bad information, and a lot of it has come from this. A lot of bad weather apps, especially something like just your regular old iPhone weather app. It has been telling you for some time that, we're going to get 22, 26 inches of snow when no meteorologist here, at least no human meteorologist that's any good, has been saying anything like that at all. And it's really been confusing. It's been frustrating for you, frustrating for us. We want to make sure that we give you the good information, the right information, and it's just been very tough for everyone to know that. So from here on out, now it's good to know that when you look at a weather app like your iPhone weather, it's not a human being giving you the forecast. It's just a computer. We're human beings. We look at all the data. Your weather app just looks at one little piece. So I'm going to give you everything you need to know in order to get through this winter storm right here in Maryland. Of course, there's a lot that's going to happen. Many places are going to get hit pretty hard. We're going to take you through all the different things that you need to know. Obviously, it has already gotten very cold out there. So let's take you through what's going on. First of all, winter storm warnings everywhere across the state, across the country, from Maine all the way down. This storm is huge, impacting a massive swath of the country. And we've seen it everywhere from New Mexico all the way up to New England. Ice storm warnings, winter storm warnings everywhere. Now, let's go into a little bit more. The storm is still a little bit back to the west. It's going to be moving in tonight. We'll start to see some of these snow showers moving in, but it's going to get very heavy as we move into the overnight hours, into the early morning on Sunday. Now, the overall theme here is the fact that we've got the cold in place, then we will get to the heavy snow, and eventually we're going to be talking about the ice. So now through next week, it is going to be frigid, all right? Temperatures may get stuck in the low 20s. Those are your highs. The way we're going to see those lows will be easily in the single digits. The wind chill is going to be on another level. We'll talk about that in a bit. Tonight through Sunday, the snow will begin, lasting through Sunday. And then Sunday morning, it will transition into the afternoon into sort of a sleet and freezing rain mixture. And there it is. You can see that. But the impacts are still going to be massive. No matter if you get just a smaller amount of snow and more ice, or less ice, more snow, the impacts are going to be almost the same. In fact, there's even a possibility it could be worse if you get less snow. And of course, more ice is not a good thing either. All right, so the chance of at least 6 inches of snow. We've been talking about this the last couple of days, and it's still very, very high, anywhere from 90 to almost 100% from I-95 north and west. The other side of 95, which always seems to be a perfect dividing line in our weather here in Maryland, isn't it? 95 south and east tends to get very different weather than 95 northwest. So southeast, chances of getting 6 inches of snow are a lot less, but icing will still be a problem too. This is a very complex winter storm, meaning we are going to start with the heavy snow, and then some warmer air is going to kind of shove its way in here, nose its way in. The reason why we call it a warm nose is because it's just above your head. Some people are asking, how on earth is it going to have freezing rain coming to the ground when temperatures are going to be in the 20s? Well, remember, the temperatures at the ground are not the same above your head. Temperatures don't always get colder as you go up. Sometimes, and often, they actually get warmer first, then colder. So you get a transition. You actually can have rain that freezes on contact as freezing rain. But we're going to be expecting anywhere from not just heavy snow, sleet, but also some freezing rain, that wintry mixture moving in on Sunday. We'll have more specifics on timing, but this is a complicated setup. You see that U shape in the fronts? That's because there is colder air being shoved in near the ground, warmer air being shoved in just above your heads, and it makes for a very strange and, again, difficult to predict mess. But we'll get you through it right now. All right, so again, the whole system will be winding down as we move into late Sunday night. Overall, the threats, cold, are going to be a massive thing that we have to deal with, not just Monday, but onward. Heavy snow, that's going to be on the severe side of how much of the impact we're going to feel. Ice, there will still be a moderate impact, and power outages, not likely to be of a major problem, but there could be some minor power outages as a result of the snow and ice combination. All right, now future scan. As we move beyond around 10 o'clock tonight through midnight, we'll see the snow starting to spread across the area. By the early morning, it'll be everywhere, and by daybreak tomorrow, it's going to be heavy almost everywhere. Temperatures you see are in the teens still. We may get to the 20s as we move closer towards the middle of the day, but look at what's happening. We're starting to see that transition. Yes, temperatures may start to get into the low to middle 20s by lunchtime, but we could already be seeing sleet. Remember, sleet is the kind of little frozen ice pellets that you can actually hear on your windshield. Little tiny chips of ice. That's when raindrops freeze before they hit the ground. Freezing rain is when it hits a surface as a liquid, it's still water, and then it freezes pretty much on contact and create that glazy. So the way we've always described it is, think of your donut. Glaze is your freezing rain. Glazed donut sprinkles are like sleet. So hard sprinkles, not minus the glaze. You kind of get it both. But as you can see, the mixture does seem to last through tomorrow night. So Sunday night even, we're going to be looking like we'll have some wintry precipitation, likely of the sleet and freezing rain. The snow will probably taper off a bit by midday to early afternoon. And then by midnight, it looks like we're starting to wind down. Temperatures may actually be somewhat warmer around midnight on Monday, and then they drop, but it's not going to get that frigid cold just yet. Wait till we show you that. That's going to look pretty brutal. Here we are, 1 o'clock on Monday. Of course, we're going to have widespread impacts. Snow's going to be everywhere. Ice is going to be everywhere. Temperatures are going to be cold. It's not going to be easy to clear when you have that freezing rain and sleet, by the way. It's going to leave sort of a crusty layer on it. But look at your temperatures dropping to the teens and then eventually the single digits. Tuesday morning is going to be brutal. Yikes. Okay, those are not your wind chills. Those are your temperatures. We're talking about middle to low single digits. Some places could be dropping sub-zero. And if that wasn't enough, it will be even colder on the wind chills. We'll show you. Again, looking at the snowfall data. Now we're going to talk totals a little bit here. Some of the data is at least, a little bit more of a better grouping. Before, it was all over the place. We had 4 inches here, 13 inches there. That was a wide range. Now it's looking a lot better. But as you can see, there are still some outlier models here and there. But overall, we still are pretty confident that at least in the city of Baltimore, we're more likely going to have around 6 inches of snow. But here is our snow forecast as of 4 p.m. Sunday. 4 to 6 inches, mainly eastern shore and along the Bay Bridge southward and southeastward. So Bay Bridge up to at least the other side of the Baltimore area. We're talking all the way up to Reisterstown zone. You guys will probably get anywhere from 6 to 9 inches of snow. And remember, this is just snow. We might actually see a little bit of ice on top of this. And then there will be some patchy areas you could see a little bit above that. You can see it's kind of sprinkled in there. But once you go north of I-70, then it starts to turn into that 9 to 12 inch areas. So the more northwest you live, the more snow you're likely to get. One thing that everyone should know, doesn't really matter if you're in the 9 to 12 inch zone or you're even in the 4 to 6 inch zone, the impacts are going to be almost identical because we're going to still have to deal with some icing as well. This is going to have major impacts on the roads and still make it very, very difficult, if not impossible, for travel. So keep that in mind. Sleet, remember, it's going to transition from snow to sleet, and we'll likely see that as we move into around midday on Sunday. And we're talking about, about a ½ inch of sleet on top of snow. Now, what's interesting is, remember, sleet is a lot heavier, so you could start out with 6 inches of snow, and then the sleet lands on top of it and compresses it down, and you may end up with 5 inches or less. So your snow totals may go actually down as it compresses by the heavier sleet on top. And we'll start to see also a change into some freezing rain. It may likely stay as nothing more than a fairly thick glaze. That's about 1/10 of an inch. So luckily we're avoiding some of the heavy stuff, but once you get over a 1/4 inch, it starts to get a little bit thicker. Remember, 1/4 inch is not much. It's about the width of most people's pinky nails, or a little bit thinner than that. It's not usually enough to weigh down trees and power lines and cause widespread power outages, but there could be some trees that are kind of on the old side, the weak side, and they could come down. So a few trees may come down, causing some isolated to scattered power outages, but that's usually going to be a 1/4 inch and above. So we're talking mainly Anne Arundel County or in some of these other locations. Icing is not a huge problem, but I know that it's, of course, something people worry about for power outages, but we're not expecting widespread. So good news, mostly good news there, and there's the example. So minor power outages from around 1/10 of an inch of ice up to a 1/4 inch of ice. And again, that's just the freezing rain. Sleet doesn't usually stick to anything. It falls to the ground. That's the good thing. It can just be a problem on the roads. Ice is a problem with freezing rain on the roads and the power lines. All right, now, temperatures. This is where it stays with us way too long. I wish we could just warm things back up and go into springtime after this. This is not going to happen, folks. It is going to stay very cold. You see what it's going to look like going into next week. Highs are going to drop to the low 20s. And then the wind chill factor on top of this, that's of course 20 degrees below our average high, which is in the 40s. Your high temperatures are going to be very warm, comparatively speaking, to your low temperatures, and then your wind chills. This is what your wind chills are going to look like. Hold on tight. Yikes. All the clothing needed, many layers, gloves, hats, face masks, whatever, to cover up every part of your body with wind chills, -5 to -10 for Tuesday morning. So, best idea, don't go outside. I mean, this is just not worth it. This is not fun. I know there's going to be a lot of people that need to start clearing and shoveling, but you got to be careful. Frostbite is real in these kinds of conditions, and so is hypothermia. Same with the wind chills on Wednesday morning. So if you can save your clearing to at least the peak of the day in the afternoon, where you might have a little bit of sunshine and their temperatures and wind chills won't be as bad, that's the best thing to do. But early in the morning, it is going to be brutal. Make sure you guys are ready for that. And remember, the cold can often do far more damage to you, to lives and injuries, than the snow can. All right, quick look at your 10-day forecast. This is not looking great. We're still weather alert Monday and Tuesday with that cold air lingering around all the way into next week. So we still have those weather alerts for those single digits, low single digits at times, Monday and Tuesday. But as you can see, those temperatures very, very slowly take forever to warm up, but they finally get close to the freezing mark next Tuesday. Woof. No, it's not cool. Look, I'm just the deliverer of the info. I do not make the weather, because if I could, it would not look like that. Well, we're going to have an update, of course, tonight, 10 o'clock. Make sure you're tuning in, Fox 45. And, of course, we'll be updating our website. We'll have lots of these postings going on. And, of course, we're going to be on as much as possible on the air as we move into Sunday morning. We're going to be tracking this, so make sure you're tuning in. We're going to have Justin Chambers and Amy Aronson out there watching the storm system on Sunday morning. But I will be here tonight. So we will have some updates for you. And make sure you're staying warm and staying safe.